Hey everyone, welcome back. I should probably have one of those catchphrases that YouTubers have, but I'm not going to because different and I'm too lazy to come up with one. So, anyways, today, new location. Ooh, Jack is messed up. As you may have noticed, I'm in Magnus Chase cosplay, and that is because today is the story of how I started cosplaying. Decided and started cosplaying Magnus Chase because apparently people want to hear this and I don't want to text it out on a telenym or something. So let's get into it. So Magnus Chase. I remember when the name was released and I was part of the group that was like, oh my gosh, Rick's gonna age them up and Percebet's gonna have a child and his name's gonna be Magnus Chase. Yeah, that was not correct, but I was thrilled to have another book series, so to read and everything. And it was, as I explained in this one telenym on my Instagram. If you're not following my Instagram, go follow it. Thank you. Anyways, so I explained how Magnus Chase was the first series that I had to myself because with the Percy Jackson and the Olympians, my parents listened and bought all the books and they read them all as they came out, along with the Heroes of Olympus series. So they were fans before I was a fan and they always tried to get me to read it, and I didn't end up reading it until 5th grade. Yeah, and they've been trying since I was in 3rd grade. And in 3rd grade I was obsessed with Harry Potter, so that's a different story. And so this was the first, and they've also read the Kane Chronicles and had all those books too. This was the first one that was purely mine, and I was thrilled because my parents, they were too busy with their jobs to read it or even listen to it, so this was the one that I had to myself. And it was great. All my friends were reading it too, but the thing was, as I explained in the telenym, that my friends didn't really like Magnus because he was basically a rip-off Percy Jackson, just he didn't like the color blue, which I kind of agreed to because, well, it was middle school, what are you gonna do? But it was, I kind of disagreed with them too because I thought he was a great character, and I still think he's a great character. He's not the same as Percy. Yes, Rick writes his male protagonists similar in the same ways. I'm not going to attempt to say that because, yeah. Anyways, so Magnus was different for me. And I really liked being able to put places that I knew of, like while reading the book, because I've been to Boston. I haven't been to New York City at that time. I just went for the first time in the summer. So at the time of Magnus Chase, I had no idea what New York City looked like, besides movies and stuff. But I knew what Boston looked like, and I really connected to that. Yeah. And it's just a great book series. And I read all the books when they came out, and I got all my friends to read it. Like, they read the first one, but after they lost interest in the Riordan verse, and it was just me. I kept on reading it, and I kept on convincing them to read it, and they did. So, yeah. I was the first one of my friends to finish The Ship of the Dead, and I was like, you gotta read it. Yeah. So that's my experience with the book series. Now let's get into the cosplay. I began cosplaying Magnus Chase last summer. July of last summer. And the thing was, I was kind of planning on doing Magnus Chase a couple weeks before that. I was in the process of moving 11 hours away from the place I was for 4 years. And I was just really trying to find something constant in my life because my grandparents' house was being sold too, and that has been in my life since I was a child, even before I was born. So I was looking for something. And I thought of Percy Jackson and all those things, and I was cosplaying at the time. I was mainly cosplaying Harry Potter and Hibiki Yamada, my OC. And I had wigs with me, but I never had a chance to cosplay because I was at my grandparents' house and we were helping pack it up and move it down. And I just kept on thinking, when we get to my new house, I'm going to have a whole cosplay streak. I'm just going to do a bunch of new cosplays. And I thought, you know, my first one, it's going to be Magnus Chase, because I didn't really find any Magnus Chase cosplayers at the time. I looked up the Magnus Chase tags and the Magnus Chase cosplayers, and I saw maybe 1 to 3, and they're amazing Magnuses, honestly, and it inspired me to try my own Magnus. And at the time, my hair was right here, and I was blonde still. And I tried it out. When we got to our new house, it was July 4th, and we finished packing everything. I don't think I cosplayed him that night, but I cosplayed him July 5th or 6th at night. And you could tell that I wasn't unpacked at all, because I didn't even have lighting. We didn't even have light bulbs. The only lighting was this thing right here, and that was not great. I also had the wolf light, and it was ironic because it's blue and it's a wolf, but yeah. And I started cosplaying him, and it felt great because he was one of my favorite book characters. And to see, just every time I cosplay a Riordanverse character, it just makes me unbelievably happy, because that was who I was as a kid, who I wanted to be. And here I am today. Yeah. And Magnus Chase is that for me. And it wasn't, I remember seeing the second video I posted of myself as Magnus got up to like 100 likes, and I was like, people are noticing my Magnus. Not really, but it was a milestone for me in a way, because I really liked how it turned out, and others started to notice that too, and people would comment Canon Magnus, and made me feel great. Yeah. And now here I am today, known for Magnus Chase, because I look like Magnus Chase. Just in my normal day, I wear glasses. That's the only difference. Yeah. One side note. One day, my theater teacher, while taking attendance, she looked at me and she said, "Ed, are you Norwegian?" And I said, "No, I am not Norwegian." But she said, "You look Norwegian. You look like a Norwegian pop singer." Can't remember her name right now, but that's who I reminded her of, and I thought it was interesting, and it kind of made me feel great, because I guess I really do look Norwegian, like Magnus Chase, in a way. But side note over. So Magnus Chase is a big part of my life now, and it was when it first came out, and it still is, and I can't wait to see if Rick does anything with Magnus Chase more. Like, what if he did a crossover series with like the Kane Chronicles and the Heroes of Olympus, Percy Jackson, you know, have all of his worlds combined, because that would be really cool. That would be really cool. Because he already did the Kane Chronicles with Percy Jackson. He did those crossovers. 3 books. 3 mini books. I would pay good money to have Magnus Chase, Kane Chronicles, and Percy Jackson, and Heroes of Olympus, if possible, all in the same book. So, Rick, if you're listening, do it. I really want that. So I guess that's the video. I hope it isn't too long, but what you gonna do? What you gonna do when the video's too long? You're gonna click out, and that's okay, because I do it too. Yeah, so that's the story of how I started to cosplay Magnus Chase, because people were interested in that, apparently. Yay! Bye.